Speaking of routines and proper hygiene,
Mhm.
what can parents do at home to establish an improved nighttime routine in order to help their child get to bed at reasonable hours? This is becoming more of an increasing problem,
Yeah,
especially with
absolutely.
our older students.
Absolutely. Yeah, in fact, there's a term for it. It's called bedtime procrastination.
Mhm.
And it's not just a problem for kids. It's also a problem for adults who just keep putting off, they're on their own technology. And so, and that can sometimes make it worse with kids when they see parents sort of doing the same thing. Um, Similar to the morning routine, I would start with what time do you want the kid in bed? And again, that may need to be a negotiation with kids. And I think it's important for parents to understand, and this may make things difficult, but when kids hit adolescence, which is when they start having more control over their own bedtime, their their sleep patterns change. So the typical teenage body wants to fall asleep at 11 o'clock. If you make them go to bed at 9, that's probably not going to work particularly well. And so I mean, you might be able to get them in bed earlier than that, in part by building in a bedtime routine so they can relax in bed reading a book or something like that, maybe listening to music. You do not want them on technology.
Mhm.
That's the other piece,
Mhm.
for two reasons. One is technology sort of stimulates kids, and so that makes it harder to calm down. But second of all, the blue light that's on even smartphones as well as laptops actually disrupts the sleep process. And so that makes it harder to fall asleep. So, I mean, the experts suggest, and this is totally unreasonable, the experts suggest that people should be off technology for 2 hours before bedtime. Like, is that going to happen? No.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking that's another negotiation with the kids. But I would be looking for at least 15 to 30 minutes off, ideally an hour. If they are on technology, you can get something that takes the blue light out.
Hmm.
In fact, on the iPhone, it's now called Night Shift. So it's in the settings, so you can go in and check out Night Shift, and it turns the screen amber.
Hmm.
So it takes out the blue light. So at least you're not disrupting the sleep process in terms of the blue light effect. So that's one piece. And again, I would go back to creating that visual timeline, using a checklist, check your list, and probably with teenagers, because again, it's more of an issue with teenagers. I'd be working out rewards and consequences,
Okay.
so that kids understand that you're serious about this, and that sleep is huge.
Yeah.
And we none of us, especially kids, especially when they have busy days. Nighttime is, once they get their homework done, that's their time. So they want to put off sleep as long as possible. And we as parents just have to sort of take a hard line about that one, I think.
And as students become older and their hygiene needs change, how do we encourage or support their transitioning and increase flexibility?
What do you mean by the increased flexibility?
So they can become a little bit more flexible
great.
and understand that their needs have changed and they have to do things a little bit differently.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I think giving them gentle feedback about either how they look or how they smell will help.
Honesty.
Yeah, honesty. And I remember when that happened with me, I remember it was a friend of my mother's who said to me, "I think your daughter needs to be taking showers more." And so that was like one trial learning for me. Oh God, my best friend's mom is noticing this is a problem. So, and so getting that, if you can figure out a way to give that honest feedback to the kids so that it has the biggest impact on them. And sometimes the feedback may have to come from friends. I mean, I'm not sure you'd necessarily plant the seed for that, although it'd be interesting to think about it. But yeah, and maybe even taking a picture. If it's just, I mean, like for me, it was the greasy hair. If someone had taken that picture and said, "Here's what you look like. Now let's take a picture of what you look like after you've had a shower in the morning," that may make a difference.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.